And then I got to sing this song. It's called 19 Years Old. And it was pretty cool to be there at the Fargo Air Museum. That particular time they had a Huey helicopter, the kind they flew in Nam. And that was the backdrop. And that was so cool, just have that helicopter right behind me. And then I just got this guitar about 2 weeks before that event. And it's just like, it looks cool. And I like it that it's got these claw marks instead of a sound hole, so the graphics go through it and make it look a little better. But when I got to that event, it's like, I didn't know how many people were gonna be there, but it's like, there were a lot of people there. And it was like, Senator Hovind was sitting there, Senator Heitkamp was sitting there, and a whole bunch of other people, and you know, it's just full of veterans, you know, a lot of Vietnam veterans. And it was super cool. I was super nervous because I've never really sang much in front of people. So to have a number of people like that, it was a good day. But how many veterans are here? I salute you guys for your service. Old, 6 months from prom, out in a jungle in Vietnam, so scared, don't want to die, thinking about home, tears in my eyes. What are we fighting for? I'm so sick of war. I bet the guys on the other side wanna go home like I do. Miss you, Mom and Dad, the life I had. I pray to God I'll get back home again to be with you. Search and destroy, kill or be killed, mayhem out here in the battlefield, adrenaline flowing, another sleepless night, holding my M16, ready for a fight. What are we fighting for? I'm so sick of war. I bet the guys on the other side wanna go home like I do. Miss you, Mom and Dad, the life I had. I pray to God I'll get back home again to be with you. Here in the trenches, fear everywhere, death and destruction, smoke in the air, mortars, grenades, deafening sounds, shrapnel and bullets flying all around. Praying to God, calling for moms, another buddy dies in Vietnam, another buddy dies in Vietnam, and it goes on and on and on and on. What are we fighting for? I'm so sick of war. I bet the guys on the other side wanna go home like I do. Miss you, Mom and Dad, the life I had. I pray to God I'll get back home again to be with you. 19 years old, 6 months from prom, out in a jungle in Vietnam. that song, or I bet the guys on the other side want to be home like, or go home like I do. Because we dehumanize the other side. It's like in Vietnam, they were the gooks, and like almost like you can just go kill them. They're just gooks. But they didn't want to be there any more than we did. They had families and loved ones, and the same thing as our side. So we should always remember that they don't want to be there. I don't know anybody that would want to be in the battlefield in this. Carl Griggs had inspired me to write that song. He had a lot of things that just hit me. So like I said, there's a lot of songs I've written with him in mind. Then when I was at the Air Museum, I also read a poem that I wrote. And after I wrote my poem, it's about the Vietnam Wall. After I wrote my poem, it's like, I should do a song. So afterwards, I added choruses. But I think it's more powerful as a poem. So I've never really sang it anywhere, even though I like my song, but I like the poem better. And I was down in Phoenix too last March 19th. They're building a new Vietnam Wall in Gilbert, Arizona. And I got to sing that song and read this poem at the ceremonial ground blessing. And it was a cool place to go to. In Phoenix, it's always a beautiful blue sky. So it was a beautiful blue sky, and a lot of veterans out there, a lot of people. And Luke Simley here, he came down to see me do that. He happened to be golfing with buddies in Tucson. And then when he heard about me being there, he thought he'd come up. But that was a great day. That was a fun day. This is called The Wall, and it's short. A lot of times I wish people would tell me just how long a poem is when they read it or something when I've been some places, because I lose attention. It's like they drag, some things they just drag them on and on and on, and they'll be fine if they tell me it's going to be 12 minutes or it's going to be however long, but this is probably about a minute and a half. So anyway, I suppose too, I'd just like to say, I saw a painting when I was also at the Fargo Museum. There's a few things in here that I'd probably talk about before seeing it. There was a painting that this Jim Fletcher did. He was a Vietnam vet, but he was also an artist. But when I was singing at the Air Museum, there was a particular painting. He painted a lot of abstracts, but the one painting that I liked was it was a guy sitting, and then over to his side was a guy laying down, and the name of the painting was "I Just Talked to Him a Minute Ago," and that's how it oftentimes was or is in war, or you just switched places. You and your buddy were there. I mean, when your buddy was like closer than probably anybody in your family, but you're with your buddy and you just switch places for whatever reason, and then he gets shot right where you just were in that place. And a lot of times you have survivor's guilt. There's a lot of guys that go to the Vietnam Wall and they go up to that wall and they won't, well, they get close to the wall. A lot of them won't go up to the wall. They just can't take it. They just emotionally, they can't do it. So they stop short of going to the wall, but they have survivor's guilt. You know, it's like they wish they would have died instead of their buddy. And I can relate to that. I lost two brothers in a motorcycle accident back in '78. And I love my one brother closest to me. We were 9 months, 3 days apart, more than anything in this world. And I used to always say, even if I would have lost my wife and 3 children, it wouldn't have hurt as much as when I lost my brother back. When I lost my brother back at the time. So there's a lot of veterans that still have post-traumatic stress disorder and go through a lot of things. Still to this day, even they just can't handle things from 50 years ago. But anyway, this is called The Wall. I walk along the wall. Tears fill my eyes. Over 58,000 men and women in Nam, they lost their lives. Over 58,000 fellow Americans, they never made it home. Over 58,000 buddies, their names carved on the stone. Walking along the wall, I dropped down on my knees. I put my hand on that stone, on a name in front of me. I hold my hand on that stone, shaking and overwhelmed. it wasn't for this hero, I'd never made it home. With paper and with pencil, I rub out my buddy's name. He died a hero. He died, and I was saved. I remember it like yesterday. Can't leave the past behind. My name should be upon the wall, not this buddy of mine. I walk along the wall, tears fill my eyes. Over 58,000 men and women in Nam, they lost their lives. And there were 8 women on the wall. So I'd like to mention men and women because I didn't want to just say men, and it's like, yeah, but what about the 8 women that are on the wall? And I was just at the Air Museum again a week ago, and they had it was a Vietnam Vet Week. But there's one guy from here on South Dakota, Dave. We had a couple interesting things, but he had a huge display of guns and memorabilia and clothing and helmets and everything. And I asked him, I said, now if you had to give everything away, but one thing that you have there, what would it be? And he had a mannequin, a gal mannequin, I mean a full mannequin, and she was wearing a uniform. She was a donut dolly, a girl. And he said he'd been, they were volunteers that I think volunteered through the Red Cross to go over to Nam to just support and boost morale for the soldiers. But I was surprised when he said that was the one thing, that would be the last thing he would let go, was the uniform for this gal. So that was neat. And then this guy, what I liked about this guy too, it's like when I'm around Milton, what I like about being with Milton, I pay more attention to everything, because when I go with Milton, I'm telling him everything about everything that I see, and out there to describe to him everything that is around us. And I'm pretty, I'm poor at focusing, and my memory's not the best, so it's like, I should be with Milton all the time, because it makes me really pay attention and focus, and I mean, I just can't believe that. But this same guy at the Air Museum, there was a blind guy, and he'd been blinded in Vietnam, I think by a grenade accident. Wow. But this Dave said, "Oh, come here." He had to grab the guy by the arm. He says, "Come here, you gotta look at this." So he brings him over to a helmet, and this was a helmet he wore in Vietnam, but it had a bullet hole going through the helmet here and then out this side. So then he's got this guy and he's grabbing his hand so he can feel the helmet and where the holes that went through. And then he said, "Now here, feel up here." So then he bends down and he grabs his hand and he has him feel his head. So he had a hole right here from where the bullet had gone through, but it had gone through, if it hit his brain, it would have been the top of his brain, because it went through here and up. But I really, I like the idea that he, wanted to show this guy all the stuff that this guy would have seen. So I thought that was cool, and made me think of Milton too, when you can, just show people things and this and that. So, but I'm gonna sing a song. I didn't know that there was girls here. I thought it was gonna be all guys. So I'm gonna sing a nice song I wrote about my wife. I got some not so nice songs that I wrote about my wife. I got a few of those. But I finally decided I better write a good one. Yeah, this is a nice song about her. I've been married 30 years just about a week ago.
The same woman?
Yeah. You're more than a wife, you're my best friend. If I could do it all over, I'd do it again. I wouldn't hesitate, I'd marry you in a minute. Couldn't imagine my life without you in it. When I first laid eyes on you, you dazzled me then, and you still do. You give me butterflies when I look in your eyes. I still love holding your hand. You make me a better